Hi, everybody. Bob here. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Longines Hydroconquest GMT. I have the 41mm version in blue on bracelet. The lineup has received a bit of a facelift with these models versus the older gen Hydroconquest, and I'm really liking where they're taking things with the lineup. Big thanks to Sam from Gem Bijou for lending in the watch. Gem Bijou is an authorized dealer for Longines and many other brands. If you're shopping watches, definitely check them out. So let's get to it and take a look at the watch. Now, these have been out a little while at this point, although they've more recently released a larger 43mm version as well. There's a few color and strap options. I'm always a sucker for blue, so this is one of my favorites, although the brown, the chocolate version, looks super cool too. Same goes for the green model. They're a bit more of a standout in the lineup with their unique look. The blue is no slouch, though. It's a beautiful watch. Now, this versus, say, the Zulu time might be what you're considering. They do kind of compete, but to separate them, I look at the Zulu as a GMT first watch, where this is a diver that just so happens to have the GMT function as a bonus. You've got increased water resistance, which is 300 meters on this, and they stuck with a dive bezel with the indices at the first 15 minutes. The dial on this model is a sunray finished blue and a really nice shade of blue at that. Up top, we have the Longines winged hourglass logo with a matte finish. Then down at the 6 is 3 lines of text with the GMT text in a lighter blue that matches the GMT hand and the markers for the time in 24 hours. One cool little detail is the PM markers are that same light blue and the AM in white, and they actually split the 6 and the 18 marker with both blue and white. It's all about those little details, and speaking of little, one downside with those markers are they are on the small side, so not the most legible. The other thing I'm kind of on the fence with is the use of 3 marker shapes with the applied markers. I thought the circular markers seemed out of place versus the rectangular markers and the triangular at the 12. Probably a slightly larger rectangular marker would have been better, although it ended up not really bothering me as much as I thought it might after getting hands-on with the watch. The handset is a good looking one. I've always liked the hour hand design. The hands all reach out to the markers, which I like to see, and they're filled with an icy blue lume formula. No need to break out the sunglasses here, though, with it, but it does the trick for getting the time in low light situations. The bezel is a 120 click bezel with a blue ceramic insert. Not sure how this is going to come through on camera, but it has quite a loud action. No problems with grip, although it's a slight bit stiffer to turn than it needs to be, but it's still overall nice to use. Other than the edge of the bezel and the crown, the watch is pretty well entirely brushed, which was a good call by Longines. If you've ever handled any older gen Hydroconquest, you'll be happy to see that they've contoured the crown guards. The older ones were sharp and you could easily pinch your fingers in there, so that's a big plus with this. The case back is a screw down case back, and under the hood is the caliber L844.4, which is a true GMT movement. The movement beats at 25,200 vibrations per hour with a power reserve of approximately 72 hours. I'll unscrew the crown here, and in the first position is hand winding, which feels smooth. In the next, we can adjust the local time, the hour hand independently, as well as the date. And then in the last position, you can set all of the hands together. You'd normally do this step first to set the GMT hand, then back to setting the hour hand to local. But yeah, as far as operation of the crown and movement, no issues to speak on. The crown also threads back in really smoothly too. The bracelet is an H-link bracelet, and the end links do drape straight down, so you're not extending out that lug to lug. My favorite thing with it though is the clasp. Overall, it's a very sturdy bracelet and clasp, but the clasp has an on-the-fly adjustment system. There's a button on the underside that you just give a push and you can extend out or bring in the size. It gives you about an extra half link of room to adjust as your wrist shrinks or swells throughout the day. As far as size goes, the case comes in at a width of, I'm getting 41.1 millimeters. The lug to lug is 49.2 millimeters. Thickness is 12.9 millimeters. And the lug opening is unfortunately an odd sized 21 millimeters. The crystal is a flat sapphire and treated with an anti-reflective coating. And here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. And even with the couple of negatives, it's still a great release, I think, from the brand. They're really on a roll lately. Cost for these at full retail is $29.75 USD, $3,800 here north of the border in Canada. If you're shopping for one, definitely check out Gem Bijou. The link will be in the description below. And if there's any other watches you'd like me to get in from them, let me know and I'll do my best. Thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.